If you are deploying your Next.js app, you might think of Vercel first. And yeah, it's great. But what if you want to have more control and powerful backend features built right in? That's where Firebase App Hosting comes in. It lets you take full advantage of Firebase ecosystem like Firestore, Authentication, or Cloud Function all in one place, including your Next.js app. In this video, I will show you exactly how to deploy your Next.js app to Firebase step by step in just a few minutes. Let's get started. First, let's create a new repository on GitHub. Then we also need a new project on Firebase, so let's create it too. While the project is created, we can already clone the repository. First, I bootstrap a new Next.js application. I am using here pnpm, but of course you can also use npm. To set up Firebase App Hosting, you need the Firebase command line interface. If you haven't installed the command line interface yet, you can use, for example, npm to install it. Now we can run Firebase init, and when asked, select App Hosting and the newly created project. App Hosting will deploy it from the repository, so we need to create a commit and push the changes. In the meantime, our Firebase project was created, so we can go to the app hosting. But first, we need to upgrade our project by entering our credit card and link it. And now we can get started with app hosting. First, I need to choose the region. The next thing is to import the GitHub repository. There we need to link now our GitHub account. I have done this in the past, so I can reuse the existing installation. Because I haven't granted Firebase access to all my repositories, I need additionally to grant access to the newly created repository. Now let's refresh the list of repositories and select our repository. The third step are the development settings. Because our app is in the root, we don't have to change anything here, but select our branch, which is the main branch. The last step is to configure the backend. So here we just create a new backend. And later, if you have, for example, multiple stages, you can also come back at a second configuration with a different branch and, of course, a different backend ID here. After these 4 steps, we have now in app hosting a new backend, which has the name we have chosen in the final step. If we go to the dashboard, we can see the rollout is in process. So it pulls the files from GitHub and tries to deploy it. Compared to Vercel, the deployment takes quite some time, so you need to be a little bit patient. But once it's green, the deployment is finished and we can open the domain and voila, we can see our new app. Awesome! Each time you push something new to the main branch, it will now automatically deploy it. But how do we now configure our app hosting? If we go to the repository, we can see the app hosting YAML, which was created when we executed the Firebase init command. Here we can see currently just the minimum instances are set. In this file, you can also configure environment variables, including secrets. To add secrets, I can highly recommend to use the Firebase command line interface again. It will create the secret in the Google Cloud platform, then grant app hosting access to it, and additionally add it to the app hosting YAML. If we open the YAML, we can see the added secret. Additionally, if we want, we can of course also add normal environment variables. Here I just paste them in. Instead of referring to a secret in the Google Cloud platform, here you put the value directly into the YAML. This is how you can configure your application using app hosting. Once you have committed and pushed your changes, app hosting will automatically deploy a new version with this new configuration. All right, we have successfully deployed our Next.js app to Firebase. Nice and easy. If you found this helpful, make sure to hit subscribe. Check out the video description for the link to the repository you saw in this video. Deploying your app is of course just the beginning. The real power of Firebase comes from its backend services. If you want to know how to integrate the backend services into your Next.js application, let me know down in the comments. See you. Bye bye.